Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you are tuning in. My name is Rachael Goldsworthy. I'm just going to adjust this so that we can see everything that we need to see. There we go. Excellent. I'm on a journey each week to improve my life by 2 millimeters, and I want to do that with you. How is everybody? What are you doing? Is everybody having a great start to the week? Monday. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Here we are. We're all doing things and being people. Did you have a good weekend? What did you get up to? I finally got all of my biohazard stuff off, which is great. I was really happy about that. I can't speak more highly. Hey, Jem, nice to see you on the line. How are you? Yes, my biohazard chemical, the update, all these things. Bit of show and tell. Remember Mrs. Stansfield that I was talking about? She was one of the best 5th and 6th grade teachers that I've ever had, or she was, at Kenthurst Primary. So big shout out to Mrs. Stansfield. I thought I'd do a bit of show and tell in honour of her. 27 electrodes are attached to my head, which I was in plaits, which I must say one of the local hairdressers would be able to help with that, and I'd love to. Moose & Co, Jodie, saying she would be able to, Jodie Ridge, she'd be able to help us out with, putting the plaits in again. Victoria's hair, all sorts of people in the George Street Mall. Windsor's got a great place for a lot of hairdressers. So if you're looking for a hairdresser, I implore you to follow through with the local people. Not too sure whether everyone can see everything here, but anyway. I also I was inspired by Pete when I was over in Bali with him recently. And when you're in Bali, you've got your different technology. You want to capture the sunsets. And big shout out to Ketut. He really is a Ketut. Ketut being the 4th son of a family in Indonesia. So hi Ketut, how are you? Nice to have you join me. Anyway, when you're capturing the sunrise or the sunset, this one here, Pete, he had one of these. He never ran out of power. He's like the ever-ready bunny, similar to Homer last week when I had that stuff on my head. But thanks, Jem. She's saying she can see everything. Yes, Rhonda is married to Ketut. Absolutely. I think you were the one that told me the story about it. So this is a power supply. So if you ever want to run out or don't want to run out of power when you're trying to capture all of the data that you've got, this is what you need. The girls, Tanya and everybody up at Harvey Norman at McGrath's Hill, thank you very much. I appreciate all that you've done. The other thing that you'll need when you've got a scan disc, because I took all of the data from the scuba diving and put that on a scan disc, and they said I need one of these as well. So this is the technology section of tonight for 2 Millimeter Monday to improve the way that we can see the world through our technology. So essentially what you do is I don't know whether you can see the bottom of this, but you pop in the scan disc underneath through there. And then that plugs into a USB. You can get also one of these USB adapters, which is a USB to a C. So all of the latest cameras and phones, etc., have the C. But if you don't have the C or you don't have the USB, you can get either one. So this is a USB to a C. So sometimes you could do it the other way around as well. So anyway, there ends show and tell section of today. No plaits, but as I say, all the girls to the great hairdressers, Justine Thompson as well. She's amazing at Pitt Town. She would be able to certainly help in regards to that. Hi, Mum. Nice to have you on the line. I think you were one of the first viewers and probably the owner viewer for my videos. I think I started in 2008 maybe. I can't quite remember what it is, but yeah. So moving on to tonight's details, we're talking about a live, love, big life, and I was looking at some of the comments online for different things, and we got lots of questions that came through. And one of the things was Rabbi Simon Jacobson, and he had a really nice quote that said, "The only way out is through. You can't avoid it." Now, when I say nice, it's probably nice because you're not nice because you're probably going through something possibly at the moment. But we're all going through something at the moment, or tomorrow, or yesterday, or whatever it might be. And sometimes he says that once something happened that's tragic, whether it's a death or a loss in the family, or whether it's maybe your business, or remember when there were the floods that we had. They were just tragic. People lost their houses. Same thing with the bushfires, like straight down to Conjola Lake as well. Everyone was standing in the bay. I mean, a big shout out to Phil and Sharon and Karen and Jeff. My hearts went out to everybody when that was going on. So when you've got a setback in your life, sometimes we all look for different things to, whether it's numb ourselves or distract ourselves from what's actually going on. We might get so busy that we just have so many things in our lives, but that doesn't mean that the pain is not there, is what the rabbi was saying. And he says that sometimes that people, it's just like when you've got a headache, you take a Panadol or you take a Nurofen and you're hoping that that is going to be enough. Hi, Chris. How are you? Nice to join you. So lovely to see everybody here tonight. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate each and every one of you. So, you can take a Nurofen for the headache, but you know that the Nurofen's eventually going to wear off. And it's certainly not something that you can keep taking because you know that the nerve endings get, settled, but they're always going to come back. So there's no way out is what he's saying. And he went on to say that one scholar or one teacher said that with a student that's experiencing some sort of tragedy or loss, whilst they might not have all of the answers for them at that time, they can sit and cry with them to move through it together. And I thought that was a really beautiful message because tears are very cathartic, as the rabbi was saying, and tears are very healing for people. And it's a really important part of what we do as families, as friends. You sit together, you talk things through, you run ideas through. I was sitting with Dad in the office this afternoon just running through some ideas after everybody had left and gone home. He's usually the first one in the office and the last one to leave the office, other than myself at that time when I first started the business. But I've got some other staffies that are much better at that than me. Ash, big shout out to you. She's always the first one in on Tuesdays and Thursdays for that matter. But there's nothing wrong with being upset about something, or there's nothing wrong with going through the feelings that you're going through, is what the rabbi is saying. And there's no answers that can be given at times. Sometimes it doesn't make sense and you don't know why. But you don't need philosophers, and you don't need people, or you don't need clever analogies. You just need somebody to listen to you, really. And the greatest minds, they really can't speak to a bleeding heart, can they? So finding that brilliant mind and finding that brilliant person, it doesn't make any difference to what we're doing. Hey, Ash, how are you? I was just talking about you, saying you're the first one in on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. But we're talking about Rabbi Jacobson, and he's talking about a tragedy that happens in a family. And sometimes the tragedy is just too strong or too powerful for the mind to fathom, so you don't know what to do with it. So sometimes we might procrastinate on it, we might think about it, we're not too sure how to navigate it, we're not too sure about the conversations to have. So you have to go deeper into your mind, is what he suggested, and going deeper into that place of the mind, which it doesn't matter what religion you are, what faith you are, whether you don't have a faith, whether you don't believe in anything, or you may just believe in yourself or nothing. I'm not too sure whether that is for you, but there were some key elements that he spoke about, and he said that love, and love conquers all, isn't it? Love is all around us, and even though we may not feel it at certain times, you know that people are always there for you with love. And faith. Faith is another thing that people can lean into in times of tragedy. Hope for the future, hope for today, hope for tomorrow. Meaning is another one that he suggested. So searching for that meaning of life, or meaning of purpose, or meaning of person. And purpose was the last one that he mentioned. So I guess it doesn't matter what religion that you're leaning into, or no religion, or whether it's yourself. There's no right or wrong feelings of what where you're sitting. And sometimes you just have to sit there and honour what the feelings are, or problem shared is a problem halved, as my parents always said. You'd come home from a day at work and you'd sit on the kitchen bench and shoot the breeze together and talk about things. Or because sometimes when you're younger, when you're my age, when you're older, it's nice to have extra people, because when you've got those extra minds and those extra eyes on things, sometimes there's solutions or resources that are available that you may not think are possible at the time. I know one of my friends from probably 20 years ago, her grandmother used to say, just pick up sticks, dear, just pick up sticks. And I didn't really understand it at the time, but afterwards I sort of worked it out that when she said pick up sticks, when you're going through, whether it's a tragedy or a loss or something else that's going on in your life, you may be trying to find a rental property in this rental crisis. Like it's challenging for people out there. And we're experiencing a lot of that. There's not enough houses for the people that are looking at the moment. So whatever it is that you're facing, you do have the opportunity to pick up the sticks. It may take you a little bit longer, but essentially you can pick up those sticks and build that fire. And the fire will become stronger the more sticks that you pick up. So over time, I think that if you lean into that tragedy or that concern or that problem or whatever it is that we're all facing, because I think that anybody that was on this live or anybody that watches this live, none of us are going to get out of this without saying that there's something that might be going on. It might even be first world problems as to what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, because we all have the same opportunity to have that dinner, whereas some countries, like coming back from Indonesia, there was so many poor people. There was so many people begging on the side of the streets. There was women with their babies just wanting to know where the next meal was coming from. So it was a good reminder, as somebody that is very lucky to be able to have the opportunity to go to work, to have people that love you around you at work, and then to come home and have your puppy dogs to come home to, and you know your family's in and around you as well, as a great support and love, which is really nice. Has anybody had any advice that's been given to them over the years that has stayed with you or helped you make a decision, challenging decision maybe? Pop it in the comments below if you would like to share, because I know that this forum here is about sharing things together, working things together, knowing what the best way to navigate forward is. So if you've ever had a situation that you thought, yeah, I got given a little bit of good advice, like picking up sticks. That was a simple one, but it really resonated with me, because then you're able to, pick up the sticks, build the resilience that you need, whatever that might be, get the energy and bolster it for the next stage of your life. With that, I was asked over the last couple of years, big shout out to Alison Hatch. You can hear my puppy dogs coming in and out if it's like bang, 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 bang. Hello, Bruce. How are you? Did you want to come up and say hello to everybody? Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. I don't know whether he will. I'm just going to try and do this. I'll get Brucey online. There we go. All right. Bruce is a big bear, and he wants to always cuddle with Mummy, and he always say hello to everybody online. He's a beautiful boy. He was 7 years old only. What was it, the 17th of July? Yes, he had a birthday, and his sister's sitting down at my feet. She's the quiet achiever. He's the cuddler, as you can see. Anyway, did you want to sit up here for the thing, or you want to go downstairs? Oh, you want to sit up here a little bit longer. Okay, all right. So the last 2 or 3 years, I was asked, as I said, Alison Hatch, big shout out to you, the local property management series. And the local property management series was just bringing local property managers together where they had a forum to chat to one another. Oh, you've had enough? Okay. Bruce is going to say goodbye. Good night, everybody. Goodbye from Brucey. He's going to go downstairs with his sister. There we go. All right. So, and there was 2 topics that I spoke about. One topic, the second topic, I was asked to return and sort of share a few extra ideas on it. The 2 topics that I spoke on was live, love, pivot to win in a changing environment, when we were navigating through the back end of COVID, essentially, because it was a really challenging time for everybody. And there was a lot of tragedy with business around that. There was a lot of tragedy with loss with family around people that had health conditions as a result of the whole process. And the second topic I was asked to speak on was a purpose greater than yourself. And that topic I spoke, I think it was last year, and I was asked to revisit that topic again this year, which was a lot of fun. You know, we had a really nice group of property managers. Big shout out to all of the local property managers that work so hard. You don't have to be in my agency to work hard. I know each and every one of you work hard, and we've got a lot of we've got a lot of things that we do each and every day that is part of what we do. And it's just some tough questions that I suppose that you ask yourself when you're delivering those things. And I put together, like, I'll share with you the information as I best can. I'm not too sure whether I can or not with this screen, but I can certainly send you a link. So I've got a QR code that I can share with you. And then it's free, it's no charge whatsoever, but it's just something that I've used over the years and developed over the years for myself mainly. But then as I've been asked from time to time, and more recently at these property management seminars, I like to put things together so that people can have takeaway ideas and implement straight away. So the way I look at life is that Gemma's saying her favourite quote was, "This too shall pass." Yes, that was a favourite one of Oprah's, and I put that in one of my books. I've got a book on quotes that have helped me over the last 30 years to just, you know, you have challenging days and you have really good days, and there's the highs of lows of life in general, and that's what a live, love, big life is all about, isn't it? And I'm very fortunate to work with such a wonderful team, and I think that any situation, this too shall pass. So thank you for sharing that, Gem. But those daily disciplines that we do, I mean, whether it's a checklist or whether it's a mind map that you've got that you work through each day, the disciplines of your day create the habits, and the habits that make the routines of your life, and then the routines become who you are within your life. So the way I look at it is if you get up early, you start the day early, or you might be a late starter, but you finish later, or whatever it is, you know, if you look at your disciplines, your daily disciplines, you can pretty much see what your life is going to turn out to be like based on those daily disciplines. And it's not a matter of controlling your life. It's a matter of understanding what the outcomes that are important to you are. So when you're doing these daily disciplines, it's your choice whether you get up and go to the gym early or sleep in. I mean, both are good, whichever one's right for you. If you get up and go to the gym, you might be a little bit fitter than sleeping in and, extra few minutes. Although having said that, having been through what I've been through recently, sometimes you do need that extra sleep in the morning. So whatever's right for you, I think, is the best way to navigate that. And then the 2mm shifts, as in questions, the tough questions that we ask ourselves, and probably we're our own tough critics. We're our own toughest critics, I should say. I know certainly over the years I've wanted to be able to understand everything, and I've got a curiosity for whether it's history or whether it's business, mainly business. I've loved business life over the years. I've loved real estate, I've loved puppy dogs, and I've loved my family. So, you know, and obviously family is friends, because sometimes your family is the friends that become your family. So, but some of the questions that I asked the property managers in the group were things like, I mean, how could we serve ourselves, our families, our friends, and our clients better? What does that actually look like? And have an honest conversation with yourself, with your team, with your loved ones, whoever that might be, because there's no point beating around the bush if there's something that needs to be said or something that you want to discuss. And people want to know what the intention of a discussion may be, or an outcome of a discussion may be, or the KPIs, or whatever it is that it looks like for you. You're certainly not going to be doing KPIs with your family, I know that. And I certainly wouldn't be either. But I think too, it's a good thing to have a list to work towards, and you might not tick them all off on that day, but you know, you can always come back or circle back to that conversation with that person. The other thing I asked the property managers was, who do we need to be and how do we need to show up each and every day? Because sometimes, as much as we all try to show up in the way we want to show up, sometimes you simply only have the energy for yourself on that day. So you may sit quietly, or you may reflect on what you're going through at that time, or you may reflect on other ideas. So that's one really good question that I thought was one that had served me well over the time. And I guess the other question is, what's preventing you from being that person to show up? And sometimes it can be just, okay, I want to get fit, but I don't get up early to go to the gym. Well, how important is the gym to you, and how important is the outcome of that gym? Is it to make you feel better? Is it to make you feel fitter? Is it to run that marathon? Is it to kayak in the river? Is it to walk upstairs without running out of puff? I'm not too sure what that is for you. And gym might not be one of them. One might be spending more time with the kids in the playground. One might be picking up the kids from school of an afternoon. One might be having lunch with your mum on Wednesdays. I hope you can have lunch with me this week, Mum. I'm hoping that whatever that is for you, you can always find what you need. The other thing is, once you know what it is that you want, then you just work out the mechanisms on how to do it. Because if you sit there and go, yeah, I want to get fit, but then you don't put anything in place to get fit, or are you going to go to a community activity? Are you going to go to one of the local halls where they do a dance class? Or are you going to go to one of the local, kayaking clubs? Are you going to go and sit and have a cup of coffee with the people at Rotary or the Lions Club, for example, and serve the community? Or what does it look like for you? What is the goals that you're setting, and how are you going to achieve that outcome? That's pretty much what it is. And I looked at sort of 5 areas of your life, probably pretty much like 5 elements of Feng Shui. But they're nothing that you haven't seen before, and we've all seen these things before, and I'll share with you mine so that, I don't want to get too bogged down with the details of it, but I just thought I would share that with you, because then you can work out where you want to go. You might not adopt any of it. You might adopt one thing, but sometimes we always... it's good to have this as a reminder for the times that you need it, to be able to go back to that. This is what mine looks like. Oh, you can see that. Yeah, okay. So it's a Live, Love, Life, and there's 5 headings. So you've got health, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Your family, I put that right up there with health. If you don't have your family or your friends or that you call your family, you've got nothing. Spiritual, I mean, whatever that is for you, you could go hug a tree if you want, or you might love God, or you might have some sort of faith or some sort of religion, or no religion at all. You might just believe in yourself. Wealth, if you have wealth, then you can help others and pledge money for others, or you can support your team, or you can support other people's dreams, and you can support your own dreams. Like, I mean, a lot of different things that I've done over the years, I've planned for them. You don't just decide you're going to wake up and go on holidays. You have a bit of a plan around that. And I'm a bit of a planner, like my parents. They're Virgos, and I love that about them, because it does help you. If you've got something in front of you, it's out of your mind, you put it on paper, and then you work towards that goal. So if you've got a holiday coming up, you're putting $25 or $50 away a week, or whatever it is for you. It might be a different type of holiday. It might be camping. So you only need $1 a week for 52 weeks, because you pretty much take your swag in the back of the car and sit out by the stream. Career is the last one that I put in there. Obviously, career is important, and it's no particular order. It just depends on which order is important to you. But as I said, with my 2mm, what I did is I set it up so that there's a template here. So if anybody wants a copy of that template, I've used this quite frequently. I refer to it. I've got a larger spreadsheet, but this is the basis of it. And I sort of figure that progress equals happiness. So if you strive towards a little bit of progress, it makes you happy, and life's not meant to be. Okay, we're back again. Sorry, somebody was just calling in. I always say, don't let perfect get in the way of better. So with that, I put the 5 areas of the life that you wanted to improve. And then across the top, there was 3 questions that you'd ask yourself. So what do I want? Why do I want it? And when do I want it by? Because if you don't know what you want, you're certainly never going to be able to get there because you haven't put it on paper or it's not in a mind map of some sort. And why do we want it? Because if we want something so much, you have to ask yourself the question, is there leverage behind it? Like when I started losing weight, I didn't really have any leverage behind it. But then when I put a wager on it with Brett, it was kind of like, oh, a bit of skin in the game on this one. There was money involved and I was going to have to give it to somewhere I didn't really want to spend that money. But as it turns out, I mean, he's lost 27 kilos, I've lost 20 kilos. I've probably got another 20 kilos to go. So that's a different segue, but you really need to know why you want something and then by when. If you don't have a timeline on it, you're never going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So essentially look at those markers and see what it is that you want. I can give you, there's a QR code here. Anybody wants that? Just scan that on your phone. Can everyone see that? Okay, I'll just leave that on there for a second. So grab your phone and you can pretty much scan that. And then that will send through if you have any questions in regards to the way in which I set it out or how I came up with the Live, Love, Big design. It's just a personal thing. So whether it's family, spiritual, wealth, health, career, or otherwise that you want to achieve, I think decide what you want, why you want it, and when you want to buy and just go get it. Because I kind of think that just life's too short not to be the person that you want to be, and be true to yourself. Don't waste your life away on things that you shouldn't even be worrying about. You know, take purposeful action towards that goal, and to the people in your life. Show up the way you want to show up. And I always sort of say, treat people the way you would want to be treated. And a good way of looking at that too is, you know, how would you treat a family member? You would really want them to be loved and cherished and looked after. So treat yourself the same way. Treat yourself as though you are that family member and look after them. And as the rabbi said, the only way out is through. You can't avoid it. So have the tough conversations we so often avoid. As much as it's uncomfortable, sometimes it's better to have those conversations. It moves you closer to clarity, or it can move you closer to more questions, because sometimes when you ask those questions, you get answers to those questions that lead you down a different rabbit hole that you want to know. So, you know, you want to know the answers to the questions, and sometimes we don't ask the questions because we don't want to know the answers. But sometimes the answers are so clear in what we're doing. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you on the line. Thank you for each and every one of you joining me. I really appreciate you and the time that you spend. I know we've all got busy lives, but it's great to have you all here. And surround yourself with the people that love and support you, because they're so important to help you with this process of, you know, through and not avoiding something. And know that there are people out there that do love you. And like Simon Griffin, he's one of our advocates and long-time listener. Big shout out to him. He's done so many great things for the community, and he's a great support. And there's always somebody that can help, whether it's somebody, hey Les, how are you? Nice to see you on the line. There's always somebody that can help, or somebody that, you know, I often refer people through to some great services in and around the Hawkesbury, and it's such a beautiful community to work with, and I really enjoy that and appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget to scan the code. If I'll just put that up again one more time. If you've got any questions in regards to the Live, Love, Big Life, I can put you in touch with the local, whether it's hairdressers to do your plaits, or whether it's people like Simon that can put you in the right direction. Kath is another one. She's a big support for the local people. But if you haven't been told today, I think that I can say with everybody that's joining me on the line, you are loved, just like I'm loved. And my puppy dogs love me. I got a big cuddle tonight. That was beautiful. Bruce is always sitting on my lap of a night time as I read a book, or, you know, write something towards the next book that I'm working on. He's always such a terror string. So I had the water dragons outside. You can probably hear a bit of water in the background. That's the water feature. And we've got the local wild birds that come in for their afternoon chat as well. And little Topsy, she's not snoring. You can't quite hear her yet. But yeah, so that's the message for me tonight. If you know, the only way is through and you can't avoid it. So go through it, people. Be supported by people around you. If you don't have anybody, I'll be your support. And if you do have people, that's great. Share the love around. And I know that everybody is there for you and everybody is thinking of you. So with that being said, if you didn't want to put any comments below, but you wanted to direct message me, feel free to do so. Anybody can do that at any stage. I answer a lot of questions during the week and I really enjoy the interactions between each and every one of you. It's a lot of fun. This journey's been great fun. 2mm Mondays. We're going to keep this going because the feedback's been so positive. And I'm really enjoying it too, because I get to catch up with each and every one of you and hear your stories and hear your wins as you're moving through things together with all of us. So with that, have a wonderful night, wonderful Monday night, isn't it? Week ahead, go walking, go kayaking. I'm learning piano. Oh, big shout out to Leah Gillen. I got these vouchers for my birthday. Thank you, team. They thought of me. I'm picking up piano again. And Leah Gillen, if anybody needs piano lessons, please let me know. She's been one of our long-term clients and she's turned into a great friend as well, which a lot of our clients have, and we're very lucky to be able to have people like her. So I was trying to get the left brain and the right brain doing different things at the same time. The same thing with dancing. If you've got different dance steps or what have you, not that I'm doing dancing anybody, I might, but I didn't say I was going to, but I'm certainly doing the piano lessons. So thank you, team, for giving me the piano lessons. I'm starting this Tuesday, so I might be able to tinkle the old ivories and give you a little bit of a tune next week. Possibly not, I would say. It's been about, Mum would be able to tell me. How many years, Mum? Maybe when I was, 40 years ago, I used to play the piano. My sister, I think, was much better at it than I was. Big shout out to you, Emma, if you're listening. Bryce, my brother, was always good on the saxophone. He's a fantastic saxophone player. I don't think he plays anymore. But yeah, all very talented in their own right. Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. Have a great night, good week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you on the next 2mm. Bye for now, everybody. Good night.